Well, we, would hope that, the as far as what we can do to prevent it from happening, uh, I guess I would answer it this way. So, a lot of what we've tried to do is create spaces where our friends and contacts at the police department, who's at the time we got to know him, who we kind of got to know the closest was then Captain Michael Shedd. Now he's deputy chief over I think the whatever region would cover East Fort Worth, and one of the things that he and his colleagues have been good about doing, and one of the things that the other officers like Officer Darty, who patrols the Cabell Place apartments and a certain area within Stop 6, is good about doing, is just keeping it real with us. And so if we can create spaces where we can have conversations, where maybe we've got the cameras off for a while, not for the sake of hindering transparency, but for the purpose of increasing transparency, because instead of getting answers that have to be answers that anticipate potential legal action later, or answers that anticipate a viral YouTube, they can talk to us in the room and be honest. And I think, guys, we have some of us have been very pleasantly surprised at the responses that we get when we get in the room and just have honest dialogue. And then it's a little give and take in terms of if the police have an event in the community and they want some guys to come out and help out, we try to send some guys to help out. And then at the same time, if we have an event like a cleanup or a movie night in the community or something, then having the police come out and offer, whether it's just a pair of hands or a police presence, they've been good about doing that. And we've even hosted a forum at the East Division's offices, and really tried to work together to build trust and transparency with one another, so that if a tragedy like this happens, then hopefully we can be bridge builders and really figure out the truth, because there's got to be an accountability component. So when injustice happens, when something happens that's wrong like that, we've got to be able to call that for what it is. Otherwise, then we're not accomplishing anything if we're just agreeing to sort of keep the status quo in place. We have got to move for progress. And so when things are difficult and need to be called out as wrong, we hope we can do that because we've done the work now of saying we support police, we're not anti-police. And so if we say that was wrong, that has to be handled. That needs to result in action, accountability. Then hopefully we're met with, instead of just being written off as anti-police, they say, okay, these guys actually support us, most of the time, and help us with things in the community. And so when they're calling us to the carpet, it's from a genuine place. And on the flip side, if they need us to be, if you will, liaisons, in the community, depending on what it is, depending on what that looks like, we can explore that and be honest together. So in this situation, for example, I don't know all the details, but I know that there was it was released that there were things in Mr. Jean's apartment. This is after the fact. It had nothing to do with the case, and it was released about the details of what was in the apartment, and it had this appearance of a smear campaign, almost like to take who was 100% a victim and then somehow criminalize him for the sake of making it look less like he was a victim, I guess. And so that's the type of thing where hopefully we could reach out and we could have a meeting and we could say that's not okay if that's what's happening, and we need to address it. That's what it really looks like is happening. On the flip side, we would hope too that if something like this happened, and this has proven to be the case in the past, where maybe someone at the department who's hoping for us to work with them and kind of achieving some sort of resolution of unity and trust instead of discord and distrust, shares with us what happened first before it's all over the news, and so we can sort of see what's going on and work from there. But there's no easy answer, I guess, to that, how we prevent that from happening. I think one thing we're trying to do, so the police department has a procedural justice training that it does, and I think there's a national arm of that too that has a local presence, if I'm not mistaken. So, just fostering and trying to encourage that sort of training that goes on, so that the community can increase its trust in the police. The police can address issues like implicit bias or things that might be causing things, because if an officer has an unknown bias or a blind spot in their heart and in their mind, then they might respond a certain way under stress that they might not if they had identified that and could have dealt with it. So we support sort of training initiatives like that, even though they're not really anything we're doing. The police officer also offers what's called a simulation training, which is really a cool thing where you can go in and you've got a gun that's converted to I guess it's a 9mm or something. It's converted to where it has like a laser, and it's almost like a virtual reality situation. You walk up on a platform and the lights go off and you're in the situation that the police encounter, types of situations, and then you have to bring some resolution to the situation, and then maybe someone reacts to you with deadly force and you have to respond as the police officer or whatever. It's a really good exercise, and there's some training components to it too. So we try to send people who are interested within the community there, maybe to create some empathy for police and what they're going through as well. But at the end of the day, we have to be really careful and clear that we're for justice and unity. We're not for this sort of unity that sweeps things under the rug or that acts like nothing wrong happened. And in our pursuit of justice, we do want to keep unity in mind, though, when we're pursuing that and aiding that stuff. And so I don't know if that makes us unique or not, or if that's what lots of people's aims are, but that's what at least we try to focus on in relation to these sort of events.